Okay, let's get started. Who can tell me what is an ecosystem? What is it? Who can explain it? Pumpkin.
An ecosystem is where the living thing and non-living thing.
Well, no, you're getting there. You're pretty much right. You're close. There's definitely living things and non-living things in there. Trixie, what's an ecosystem?
An ecosystem is an environment with non-living things and living things. I forgot.
Yeah, no, you're all so close. So close. Winter. Something to do with living and non-living things. What are they doing?
They an ecosystem is place where living thing and non-living thing affected
Affecting what?
the environment.
So close. Yeah. Okay. You're all so close. Billy, tell me, what's an ecosystem?
It's when living things and non-living things interact each other.
Yeah, good job, Billy. Well done. So that's the whole point. That's the one bit you're all missing, okay? Is that interacting with each other. Remember what we were talking about yesterday? We were talking about a plant. A plant needs soil to get nutrients from it. A plant needs the soil to stand upright. There's a plant, which is a living thing, interacting with a non-living thing. You think about lions sleeping on the ground. You think about fish needing water to swim, whales needing water to swim, animals needing air to breathe. These are all ways that living things interact with non-living things. We also start talking about two things. We start talking about biotic and abiotic. Lucy, what is a biotic factor?
It's a living thing that affect on the environment.
Yeah, perfect. Good job. Well done. And what is an abiotic thing? Noob.
It's a non-living thing.
You're right by saying it's a non-living thing, but when we say an abiotic factor, okay, when we use this word factor, it means a part of something that can affect another part, okay? Think about maths, right? When you have two numbers to multiply each other, say you have 2 multiplied by 3. In this, you have 2 is a factor and 3 is a factor. When you multiply 2 by 3, you are multiplying by a factor of 2. When you multiply 3 by 2, you're multiplying by a factor of 3. So the factor is the thing that changes something, right? So if you talk about what is an abiotic factor is a non-living thing that can affect an ecosystem. Okay, let's jump into this and let's have a look at those explanations again, see if we can help you. Just so you know, Trixie, good job. From what I can see in the quiz as yesterday, you have done the best. So let's try this, okay? We were talking about this a little bit yesterday, but I'm going to take it a little step further. All I'm going to get you to do is going to get you thinking about how biotic and abiotic factors work together and how some animals need abiotic factors and how some abiotic factors impact animals, right? So what I want you to do is think about a forest and think about the animals that live in that forest. Then I want you to think about what non-living things are also in that forest and then how do they interact. So what I'd like you to do is give me an example of a living thing that is interacting with a non-living thing in a forest. You can give me an example and then I'll help you, right? So think about a fox, okay? A fox lives in a forest. Okay, right, Billy.
I have another example.
Yeah, please go for it.
A chimpanzee use a stick, use it to eat termites.
Yeah, cool. That's a good example. A chimpanzee using a stick to eat termites. That's a living thing using a non-living thing to help it survive and interact with it. If there was no sticks, the monkey would not be able to use a stick in that ecosystem. Who can think of another example? Lily, I'm going to give you all a big hint, okay? Think about plants and trees. So what does a plant need, Lily?
It needs water.
Needs water, okay. What else? Sunlight and air, right? Okay, so water needs plants, sunlight, and air. In a forest, how does a plant get water? How does a tree get water? Hacker.
They put sometimes rain go into the ground and they take the roots and take the water then.
Okay, perfect. So we know that Plants take water from the soil, from their roots, right? So there's a way in which you have a living thing, a plant or a tree, interacting with the non-living thing, the soil, by taking water from the soil. If there was no water in the soil, if there was no soil, the plant wouldn't be able to get water, right? So there's one living thing and one non-living thing. Okay, let's try a fox. You can tell me, where does a fox live? Yeah, Lucy.
The fox is in the forest, or
Yeah,
but
where
is
in the forest?
there many types of fox?
Okay, a regular fox. Where does a regular fox live?
The regular foxes live in the forest.
Okay, right, fine. Just so you know, a fox lives under the ground. So what interaction can you say that a fox, a living thing, has with a non-living thing? You can explain that interaction. Trixie, can you explain that interaction?
So the fox is the biotic creature, and the soil is the abiotic thing.
Exactly.
And the fox uses the soil to make its resting place.
Yeah, perfect. Great job, Trixie. Well done. That's exactly what we need to look at. And this is how I want you to think, right? If I'm asking you questions about what's an abiotic or biotic-abiotic interaction, think about a living thing and think about what it needs. You are all at this very second conducting a biotic and abiotic interaction. What are you all doing at this very second? Winter.
I'm listening.
You're listening? Okay, that's definitely not it. So all of you at this very moment in time are breathing, right? You're all, that is biotic, dealing with all the air around you, which is abiotic, it's non-living. That is a really, really simple example of a biotic-abiotic interaction. You have a human, biotic, and abiotic, the air. When you interact with it, you breathe. That is a biotic-abiotic interaction. Just to go over again before we do something new, an ecosystem, these are the interacting parts of an environment. They are the things that work together. We spoke yesterday that the fish will use the rocks to hide from sharks, that we see the fish swimming in the water, that we see coral growing on rocks. These are all ways in which a biotic factor is influenced and affected by an abiotic factor, are vital. So again, biotic things are the living things that affect an ecosystem, and they interact with each other and non-living things. For example, you have bacteria. Bacteria interact with you. You can get sick because bacteria are attaching themselves to you. You have a bee. A bee is necessary for pollination. It's necessary for plants and trees and surviving of these plants and trees, and it interacts with them as well. Trees let their seeds go. Their seeds then drift away, and their seeds are picked up by animals. They all interact with each other in some way. The abiotic factors are the non-living things that affect an ecosystem. Things like wind, right? If you think about a tree and seeds, a tree will use wind in order to disperse its seeds a very, very long distance. We'll look at that when we come to adaptations. Sunlight. Without sunlight, plants wouldn't grow. There wouldn't be a natural source of energy for the world. Soil, we spoke about it with the fox. The fox makes its home in the soil. The plants need soil to suck up water. Water itself. I have a picture later of a savanna ecosystem, and all the animals from all around, doesn't matter if they're a lion, a zebra, a giraffe, they all go to the water, right? They're creating a miniature ecosystem around the water as well. The atmosphere. So how is there a lot of air? Does the plant or animal live high in the mountains? Does it live on a hill? What's it like? The temperature, is it hot? Is it cold? All these things affect an ecosystem in some way. And what you see as a result is animals reacting. Who can give me an example of a biotic-abiotic interaction because of temperature? What have some animals done because of temperature? Okay, here's a question for you. Who has ever seen a picture of a lizard in the desert, and it's standing there in the sun going, it just stands there. It doesn't move, right? It stays completely still. Who knows why a lizard does this? Pat, why does a lizard do that?
To absorb the sun's energy.
Yeah, but for what reason, Billy?
Because it is sunbathing. Because it is cold-blooded.
It's cold-blooded, yeah. So that's right. So Pat, you're right in the fact that it absorbs the sun's energy, but what it does is it's cold-blooded, right? because a lizard is cold-blooded, if it eats something when its blood is cold, it's not going to absorb it. It has to heat itself up in order for it to eat. It has to make that blood warm so its metabolism starts working. If you didn't have a sun, you wouldn't have the lizard. Okay, so the lizard, once again, that abiotic factor of sunlight is so vital for the lizard that it needs it. It needs it to survive. What about another example? Hiker.
The polar bear will melt the oil when it was too hot. The polar bear.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's a good example, okay? So polar bears are another one, right? So polar bears live in very cold regions. The abiotic factor of that is the temperature. So what's a polar bear done? It's got big insulation. It's big and it's fat and it eats lots and lots and lots and lots. So it gets lots of blubber and it doesn't get cold. So this is how one biotic creature is reacting and interacting with what's going on around it. And this is the way I want you to keep thinking, okay? That why is an animal doing this? Why is a plant doing this? What is causing this? What's making this happen? And that's what I wanted to get at going forward, okay? I have a quick video to explain abiotic and biotic factors to you if you didn't understand. So please pay attention to the video, okay? Once again, everything that we've explained very much quickly in a nutshell. Super simple, easy to understand video. There's nothing too hard there. What I want you to do is have a look at the picture. In this picture, you have a simple pond ecosystem. You've got dragonflies and storks and frogs and fish. I think that's some kind of snail. I'm not entirely sure what this is. There's a stick. So what I want you to do is have a look. I want you to have a look at some of the biotic factors and some of the abiotic factors and tell me how they interact. Okay, right, I'll give you an example. So I'm going to say this bird here, okay? This bird is close to the water. I would say that it is close to the water because it gets its food from the water. So in this sense, I would have the biotic factor as the bird and the abiotic factor as the water because the bird needs the water in order to get the food that it eats. So that's an example of one abiotic-biotic interaction. Who can give me another one, please? What about the frog? Who can tell me what abiotic factor is the frog interacting with? Lily, what's the frog doing?
Swimming.
Swimming, okay. So what can we say about the biotic and abiotic interaction? What does the frog need?
It needs water.
Needs water, okay. So why does it need water? Swims. Why does a frog swim? I don't think a frog just turns around and says, oh, I'm going to go for a swim today. I don't think frogs think like that. So why would a frog jump into the water? What does it want to get from the water? Food, yeah. So a frog will need the water to swim around in so it can find its food. What about these plants? What do you think these plants need the soil for?
This plant needs the soil for the roots.
Yeah, for the roots, right? And what do the roots need the soil to do?
The root needs the soil to grow.
To grow, yeah, exactly. They need the soil to grow and to stay there, right?
Yeah.
They need the soil to anchor them in. So again, you have a plant which is alive, working with the soil to keep it upright and to allow it to grow. What about the dragonfly? You can tell me something about the dragonfly. Pumpkin.
I think flying on the water.
Flying above the water, okay. So why does think about the abiotic factor. What is a dragonfly like doing? It's flying in the air, right?
Yes.
So again, we can say the dragonfly is flying in the air. It needs the air to fly around in. I don't think a dragonfly could fly around in soup or in water. It has to fly around in the air. So that's the abiotic side, okay? This is the way I really want you to start thinking about. What is the animal or the living thing doing? What is the non-living part giving or working with the animal about, okay? For your homework, what I want you to do is watch this video. Now, this is a funny video. It's animation. It's quite funny. What I want you to do is, I want you to watch this video. I want you to write about 3 abiotic, biotic interactions that you see. All right, okay, everyone, before we leave, okay, goodbye. I'll send you your homework. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. I'll see you soon.